You know, there's a lot of videos online on how to get into FPV, how you can start doing FPV, but there's really no videos on why you should even think about doing FPV.
Send it.
Little rest station ripper, dude. Who cares?
So I guess the question is, why should you even do FPV? Or if you already do it, why should you continue? It's a very important question that I think we all need to ask ourselves. We wake up and we need to contemplate our realities and think, why even get into FPV? It's super expensive. Even with the cheapest build, an analog build with the cheapest goggles, one battery, a cheap radio, you're looking at spending close to $500. Now, let's say, you do decide to spend, you can afford to spend the, initial $500-600 it's gonna take to get into FPV. That's not the only amount you're gonna spend. Sometimes things don't work appropriately. Sometimes ESCs go out. Batteries don't last forever. Eventually, you're going to have to buy another battery. And ultimately, depending on how much you fly and how aggressive you go, you're going to be constantly building, repairing, spending time soldering, spending money on new parts.
Like you're taking pieces from that other drone into the new build and you're salvaging. You're constantly salvaging, recycling.
So you've built 2 drones total?
Just two.
And they've just become new drones?
Yep. Cycle every time. Usually it's two or three.
The repairing thing is no thing. I think a lot of people who really sweat repairs and really delay getting repairs done because they just really don't want to, they probably won't last as long in FPV. That's how I feel anyway.
Is that something you really want to commit to? Because that's a huge factor in this hobby. Now, FPV does have a pretty significant barrier for entry, but over the past couple of years, that barrier has become a lot smaller, especially now with companies like DJI making things like the Avata and other various FPV brands making bind and flies. You don't really even have to know how to build a drone technically to get up in the air.
I know how to do all the repairs. I just don't want to. It's just not. I don't enjoy it. It seems like a waste. I'd rather spend an extra $50 to $100 on a bind and fly than build it myself. For a bind and fly, this is amazing. I think it's great. Just a little bit more expensive, and I don't know, it works for me.
Now, aside from all of the cost and the barrier for entry and stuff, I still think it's worthwhile to get into FPV for many reasons.
So actually, I got into FPV kind of a weird route. I didn't see FPV and go oh, I want to do that. I was doing vlogs for YouTube because my kids were into YouTube, and I saw the guys flying the camera drones, and so I bought a camera drone. I had a GoPro on it, and I just remember I would speed up all the shots. And so I was like, they got these FPV drones, they're super fast. I could put it in the air, I could get the shot that I want, and it's the speed that I want. And then as soon as I got one, I was like, oh shit, these things, they flip and they do tricks and stuff.
So, flying an FPV drone through your goggles is a completely different experience than flying any other sort of model aircraft via line of sight. And it's even completely different than flying a DJI drone from your phone, like a camera drone. While that is cool and it's fun and it's interesting to see things from the sky, the FPV drone enables you to sort of become a part of the drone. So FPV kind of gives you that ability to immerse yourself into the aircraft and feel like you're actually flying.
I've always wanted to experience the feeling of flying around, getting see stuff that you wouldn't normally. you know, stuck on the ground.
Aside from the actual experience of flying an FPV drone, I feel like the community is incredibly awesome. There are so many cool people that I've met over the past couple of years doing this. I've made so many friends all across the country. I wouldn't have been able to do that unless I was involved in FPV.
Getting to sit down with the community is a whole different thing. It's super fun. We get to do so many crazy things on both racing and freestyle events and tiny whoop events. So yeah, everything. Yeah, where people are sharing, where people are, I don't know, helping each other.
Just the camaraderie, the sense of community, all different walks of life, and everybody's coming together for the same thing. And we all get this rush and have this passion to do this thing, and it's quite beautiful, to be honest.
Yeah, I've flown with people that have gotten in physical fist fights over like Facebook posts over that like originated over spots. Don't fly here. It's crazy, dude. People get in there and get into it, and like that kind of stuff turns me off. Like I don't know. Flying FPV is like doing drugs, dude. People fight about it. It's addicting. You just want more of it, dude. It's like really good vagina.
Now, another cool thing about FPV is that it teaches you a lot of things. And you can really learn as much as you want or as little as you want, because nowadays with FPV, you can just solder a drone together, run beta flight, and it's done. You don't really have to program anything.
The technology now versus when I started is insanely different. It's so much better, right? Everything like needs less fiddling with. It kind of just works right away. It's a lot more robust. There's more options. It's just, you know, it's a full-on hobby now. So you have so many more options, so many more companies that are making things. Whereas when it started, you only had a few companies, a few parts that everybody used, and they were not meant for freestyle. They were meant for maybe RC planes at best.
Or you can get really into the nitty-gritty and you can get into the PID loops and do the tuning and all that stuff. Or you could just not do that. But that's just an opportunity that you have to learn more things.
Subaru Nation.
So I guess ultimately, why should you even do FPV? Or why should we that fly FPV now still fly FPV? I think it's like the only answer to that is just why not?